Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Yes Mujer Build It podcast. Welcome, powerful mujeres. Here we are in December, right? Kind of crazy. There's only less than, I think, 4 weeks left in the year. And we're going to talk today about how to not let your brain sabotage the end of the year, how to not sabotage your end of the year, how to actually stay productive. Yes, productive and focused, even during this crazy time of the year. Because if you're like me, things get 10 times more challenging during this time, right? Things get more crazy. There's just more to do. There's more things you have to keep track of. There are uh, parts of Christmas and the holidays that just add more stress. It feels like, for me, it feels like there are 100 things happening with each kid. Like each kid has more activities than ever because there's like the Christmas thing they're in, and then there's the ugly sweater party at school, and then there's the hot cocoa event, right? And that's just for one kid. And then there's a special dance they're going to. In addition to that, December is my birthday month. Yes, it's my birthday on December 24th. Guys, they almost named me Guadalupe. Yes, Guadalupe was the name that they almost named me when I was born because I was born on Christmas Eve. And my parents, well, it was more my grandmother, thought Guadalupe, connection to Catholicism and connection to Mary and connection to La Virgen de Guadalupe, said I should be named Guadalupe. But I was not. I was named Wendy after the Wendy in Peter Pan. Yeah, isn't that exciting? Who tried to calm down Peter Pan and make him into an actual adult. So I think that's part of my job as a coach. That sounds funny, right? But I wake you all up to who you really are and the reality of getting things done on earth with some magic included, because I do believe in manifestation work. In fact, at the core of what I practice in being work is just that. It's that your thoughts and your feelings and your beliefs about what you think is going to happen is actually what ends up happening in your life. You just have to wake up first to that reality. So let's talk about how to not sabotage the end of the year. This is a really important podcast episode that I want you to hear during this time. Also want you to be aware that on Thursday, December 5th, so tomorrow when you hear this podcast, I am doing a live training. Yes, a live training called The Time Is Now, where we're going to talk about some of the things that I'm going to teach you today on the podcast, but we're actually going to do a process with some of these tools. So it's really important that you come to this training or that you register for it so you can at least get the recording, okay? Go register now. The show notes have the registration, but also my link on my IG account, my Instagram account, delete. Also, the link in my IG bio, go use that link to register. Register now as soon as possible so that we can make sure we send you the recording and any other information about how to prepare for the end of the year and how to prepare for 2025. I'll be doing a podcast episode on that too. Okay, how to not sabotage the end of the year. Dun, dun, dun. First thing you have to know is your brain's going to try to sabotage you. For sure. Our brain is always trying to sabotage us in that it's just trying to keep us safe. And its interpretation of safety is status quo. Same-o, same-o. The known is better than the unknown, as Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches. It's always better to know what's going to happen than not know. Uncertainty for us is like one of the worst feelings that we can have as human beings, until you start to practice transformational work and you realize that, oh, wait, everything really is uncertain. Yes, everything is uncertain, but you can create your own safety. You can create your own certainty by practicing transformational work. Some of what we're going to talk about today is connected to that, in that everything starts with awareness. You have to be aware first of what's going on before you can do anything to shift or change it, right? Transformation is a little different than change. I'm going to talk about this in future episodes also, in that transformation has to do with shifting your perspective from a whole different angle. It's like all the rules around you change. And that's what I do for my clients. It's part of what I'm going to teach during the Time Is Now masterclass coming up. How to not sabotage the end of the year. Number one, your brain's going to tell you you didn't get anything done this year. Yep. If you spend any time in evaluation, which I hope you do, spend a little bit of time in evaluation, at least with me, your brain's going to try to lie to you by telling you you got nothing done this year. Done, done, done. You need to catch that and actually combat it. You need to tell your brain, hold on, brain. That's what you're going to tell me. Wendy told me that you would tell me this. Thank you for sharing that message. And I'm not going to listen to that message because I know you're lying to me. I got a bunch of things done this year. So, how to combat the brain lying to you about you got nothing done this year is by actually sitting down and making a list of everything that you got done this year. Yep, everything. Maybe not everything that was really small, like this one email you sent out, but the projects you got done, the main work you got done, everything that was of importance to you that you actually finished, right? That is vital for you. Like I did an organizational project in my closet, even though it still doesn't look organized, but I got one part of it organized. That is something I got done in my house. I ordered a couple of things for decorations. Like I finally ordered a rug for my dining room. That is a project I got done, right? I reorganized some of the way I set up recordings for my programs, like recordings for my mastermind, recordings for Inspired Action. That is a project that I got done. All of that counts. All of that is work that you finished. That's all valuable. You have to make the list. Why is it important to make the list? Two things. One, like I said before, your brain's trying to lie to you by telling you got nothing done. So we need the proof. And your brain needs to see the proof that you actually got a bunch of things done. But secondly, you probably don't realize how much you actually got done. Every time I sit down to do this actual exercise, where I sit down to list out all the projects that I finished this year, or programs I finished, or even launches I did, anything that was of subsistence. So, not the regular, like fed my kid dinner on Tuesday, but maybe fed the kids a healthier dinner overall, for example. Anytime I sit down to make this list, I realize, oh my God, I got a lot done. I really do sit down, even when I only focus on big projects. There was one year where I was like, I'm just going to write down the big projects that I got done, not the little small things, but just the big ones. And I'm just going to focus on the things I got done for work. Even that was huge. That list was 24 projects. What? 24 projects, guys, that I listed out that I actually got done just in my business. And these were big projects, like letting a contractor go and hiring a new contractor. Those are big projects. And 24 of them got done this year. That improved my business in some aspect or some way. So you've got to give yourself credit. The brain is going to continue to lie to you. And one of the ways that we can prove to it that it's lying to us is by collecting proof, collecting these lists, and then looking at the list. Because the list is truth with a capital T, meaning these are things that you actually did complete. So that you can tell your brain every time it tries to tell you, you got nothing done in 2024. It was a horrible year. You should have done this. You should have done that. You can look at your list and say, no, I did complete quite a few things in 2024. And if you're having a hard time trying to find the things that you did get done, send me a DM and we will send you the link to join this training because I will give you some coaching around how to start looking at what you did get done. For some of us, our brain is so wired to negative thinking or self beat up that it doesn't allow for you to give yourself credit ever. This is actually one of the muscles that I help build within Inspired Action is a muscle around celebration, consistent, positive celebration. It's a powerful muscle that we build. Okay, so one of the ways you can stop yourself from sabotaging the end of the year is by beating yourself up over things that you didn't get done and starting to focus on the list of things you did get done. Second way in which your brain is going to try to sabotage you during December at the end of the year is it's going to tell you, I don't have time for anything else. I've run out of time. It's going to tell you that you're so busy in December, which is part of what I just shared at the beginning of this podcast, right? Is how busy we get in December. Your brain's going to tell you, I'm so busy in December, I can't do anything else. That is a lie. Yes, dun, dun, dun. Who controls time? You do. You are the one who's in charge of your time. And even though there may be more things on your list, things to do, the kids are out of school, there's like more that's actually happening, and people seem busier. This is a great time to actually bring your brain back to something that you need to focus on. Yes. Our schedules are off during December, meaning our schedules are different than they normally look. So that's part of why your brain tells you, I don't have time. I don't have time. But if you actually created boundaries around how you spend your time so that you still have time to focus on the things that you want to focus on, your brain will follow. Your brain will actually follow whatever you, yes, you decide to do. We don't just have to listen to what our brain automatically tells us. We can actually plant the seed now that I do have time in December. I have expansive time in December. How do we do that? We do that by creating boundaries. So, step 2, decide now to create some boundaries around how you're going to manage December. Maybe you're not going to go to every party. Maybe you're not going to return every single text message. Maybe you're going to delegate some of the gift buying to your partner. Or maybe your kid's just not going to participate in every single thing. And that's okay. That's okay. If you decide when you're connected to your higher self what you want to focus on for December. If you want to actually spend some time in your business or in your career. Let me tell you why that's really important to do, especially during December, because there is some downtime in December. Things do look different for most of us in December. I'm in the coaching industry. In the coaching industry, a lot of people are working in December because people are thinking about the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, right? But there is this low that happens that last week where people are on vacation. There's less eyeballs necessarily in certain areas. There's more eyeballs on other things. Like right now, we just finished a really busy shopping season. We just finished Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of that. So eyeballs were directed at product-based businesses or people that are selling certain types of business, certain types of products. So there is a shift that happens in December. We got to take into account that shift. But you know what? This is a great time for. It's a great time for you to spend some time learning something that is going to support you in 2025. So hopefully you've started to think about what you want to create for 2025, right? If you haven't, you need to come to my training because I will support you in starting to make some goals. It's important to set goals. It is vital to set goals and to not set it when you're exhausted, but when you are still in the space of and the flow of working your business or working at your job. It's important and vital to set goals. So let's talk about the third way in which your brain is going to try to sabotage you, which is, I don't have to think about next year until January. No, let's not wait until January to think about 2025. Let's start evaluating 2024 now and then actually looking at what are the new muscles that I need to build in 2025? What is another way for me to start building in this new year? Why do I say what's another way? Because most of us, when we're building something new, a new career, a new job offer, a promotion, a new business, a new offer within our business, or a new house we want, whatever we're building towards, chances are you need to learn something new in order to build that or improve upon something. Maybe not something entirely new. You need to improve upon certain skills or tools that you need to master, right? December is a great time to do that. December is the time to work out those muscles that you need to learn in order to actually hit your goals in December. So, what I'm saying is, let's not wait until January to start planning 2025. You can actually start looking ahead now for what do you want to plan for yourself for 2025. Even if you don't have a clear methodology yet, if you have some sort of target, ask yourself, what can I use this time in December for to prepare to hit that target in January? What can I learn? What can I practice? What can I improve upon? Chances are there are some skills that you need to learn or that you can improve upon, like branding, like marketing, like selling or enrollment. That's a skill that I teach in my mastermind at a deep level. Or like self-management. That's a skill that I teach in Inspired Action, how to manage yourself so you're able to produce the results that you want to produce, how to be more productive, how to follow through more. Or if you're building a business on TikTok, how to do TikTok reels that go viral or TikTok videos that end up going viral, right? Whatever it is for you, December is an excellent time to use some of that downtime, quote unquote downtime. It's how you look at it, right? But let's look at it like downtime. Create some boundaries around how you're going to use that downtime and focus that time on building these muscles, learning and practicing something over and over again, because that's how we master these tools. Listen, whatever you want to build, it's not rocket science. Somebody else has built it before you. In fact, I would go out and meet at least 3 people that have hit that goal already. And then I would learn from them. How did they hit that goal? That's one of the most valuable things you can do in life because it's not rocket science. Success leaves clues. I'll say that again. Success leaves clues. You can figure out and learn what worked. What happens is we learn it, and then a lot of people don't end up actually practicing and implementing whatever the skill is so that it becomes a habit. Most people learn it once and then think they're supposed to have it and they just move on. This is why you don't end up hitting your goal. In the evaluation part of your goal and evaluating last year or this year, focusing on 2025, when we evaluate so that we can gather data and we can actually pivot, right? This is what my last podcast was about. It was about evaluation and pivoting. One of the ways in which you can pivot is by figuring out, what do I need to learn? What do I need to learn to hit my 2025 goals? What is something new I need to learn or improve upon, master, strengthen, right? Chances are you already know a certain part of it. You just need to master it. And December, I have found, because it's kind of off in the scheduling and there isn't that same push to be out in the world as much, there's more family time, there's more quote unquote downtime. It's a great time to take a course, to read that book you've been wanting to read, to finish that ebook or e-course that you bought a while back, or to join a coaching program where we will start to teach you how to manage yourself or teach you what is being work, and then to actually start practicing that in real life. If you'd like to know more about Inspired Action, for instance, which is a great program to start learning all of this transformational work that I'm talking about, please go to my IG, or you can click the link in the show notes for this podcast to go to my website and register and join us for Inspired Action, which is a program where we actually hold you accountable to following through with some of these steps, these tools that I'm teaching you. Okay, in summary, how to not sabotage the end of the year, how to not allow your brain to sabotage you. Here are the 3 ways in which your brain's going to try to sabotage you. 1, it's going to tell you didn't get anything done this year. That's a lie. That is a straight out lie. Make sure to make a list of all the things that you did get done this year. And trust me when I say you're going to be surprised at the amount of things you actually did accomplish. Maybe they weren't the exact things you thought you were going to get done, but you got some things done. If you planned one party, you got something done. If you finished one project, or hell, if you started one project, that gets credit also. You get to give yourself credit for that. 2, it's going to lie to you by telling you don't have enough time, that it's too busy now. It's the busy season for the holidays now. We've run out of time. No, that's a lie. You can combat it by saying, no, I'm going to create boundaries so I can still focus on the things that are important to me during this December time. You actually have a full month before the end of the year. You have time to either get something done or make some decisions. And then, lastly, one of the things that you can use the time for is to learn something new or improve your ability to do something that will support you with hitting your 2025 goals. Studies have shown if you start working on your goal in December and maybe solidify it in January, or you start to build the muscles you're going to need. It's just like anything. If you were planning to run a marathon in March of next year, you could start training for it now. What if whatever your goal is like running a marathon? You can start to train your body to actually follow through with the steps that you need to follow through with. Now you could start working towards it. Let's not wait until January to start working on your goal. Pick one thing and start moving towards it, or learn something new that's going to support you. This is the best time to learn. We kind of take it to that next level in January where we start to practice what we learn in December. If you want more information about my training that I'm doing December 5th, it's at 10 a.m. Or if you would like to get the recording, send me a DM on Instagram. I'm available at Wendy Amara. I'm going to be doing a couple of more podcast episodes with guests and also talking about how to end the year on a high note. But for right now, do not allow your brain to sabotage the end of the year for you, because you did get a lot of things done, Mujer. You do have the time to learn something new, to take on your life, to change in 2025 if you want. The end of 2024 can actually be a catapult for you to move into 2025 in a really powerful way. And I'm here to support you in doing that. So let's stay in touch. I'm sending you all a big hug, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of Yes Mujer Build It. Remember how powerful you are, because you really are. You are a genius. We just need to implement your genius ideas consistently. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.